Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you all for tuning in for podcast number two, with Safe Space with Talk Business Talk with Cedric Turner. I got the I got a young lady. Her name is Lori, and I met her through another franchising system, and she was very knowledgeable about a lot of things. So she inboxed me and asked me to come on. And I said, well, it'd be so great for you to come on and talk about, because she's done a lot of work in franchising. She's with Score now. So without further ado, I want to introduce my good friend, Miss Lori, to the show. Good morning, Miss Lori.
Hey, Cedric, how are you today?
Great, great, great. So, Miss Lori, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing with Scores. Just kind of tell everybody a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So I've been in the franchising business since 2006. I first entered into franchising as a franchise sales manager, and I worked for Sonic Drive-ins. And I started out as a manager. Honestly, when I applied, I knew nothing about franchising at all, but somehow I managed to talk myself into the job. But what I did know a lot about was working, helping people to start businesses. And I knew relationships, and the franchising business is a relationship business. It's the relationship between you and your customers. It's the relationship between you and your employees, and it's the relationships that you have with your franchisor. So somehow got into that. I stayed with Sonic for close to, gosh, almost 16 years and helped grow the brand out across the US. So that was exciting for me. And got to meet some really amazing people. I'd love to tell you that when you get into franchising, everybody's 100% successful, but that would be a lie. Some make it, some don't. I've seen the successes, but I've also seen the failures. But that was how I really cut my teeth in franchising. Like I said, spent 16 years with them. They then got bought by Rourke, which is a large part of Inspire Brands that owns multiple brands. I left, started doing consulting for smaller franchise businesses. And then one day got a knock on the door, and Qdoba, Mexican Eats, called me and said, hey, we'd love you to join the brand. So I'm currently vice president of development for Qdoba's, and I handle nationwide sales for the brand. So that's a little bit about how I started in franchising.
That that is a great story and journey. And you said you had no experience?
None. So I must have been good in sales because somehow I talked myself into
You got
a
a pretty
job
smile.
where I didn't
A
know
pretty
anything
smile.
about it.
That's good. Well, God, He blessed you with that talent. You got a natural talent, so you can tell by your smile and and her whole air about yourself. So you got this. So that's a blessing that God blessed you with. So thank you so much for the introduction, and just want to jump right on in to
Yeah.
kind of talk about different aspects of business itself. And it's a lot of systems out there that a lot of us don't know or did know, that you brought to my attention. I knew about Score. Score is a organization, nonprofit organization that help you to steer you in the right direction. They don't want to do the work for you, but they'll steer you in the right direction to become an entrepreneur. Correct?
Correct. So,
Okay.
yeah, I first got involved with SCORE, just, working with the Small Business Association. So, if you go to look online and you're like, I'm looking for a franchise, you can go to the SBA. Okay. SBA, IFA, International Franchise Association, is another great resource for somebody who's looking for a franchise. But SBA does a lot of the financing when people are first getting started. They have a lot of different programs for veterans, they have minority programs, just a whole gamut of different programs. And so they had I was familiar with them because some of the franchisees I was helping was getting financing. And then I saw that they had what was called SCORE, which is a nonprofit organization that is affiliated with SBA, where you can call it. So you can go to the SCORE, it's score.org. You can go to the website and you can put in your zip code number, and then they will connect you with local professionals. So SCORE is people that have a lot of experience in various topics of business, whether it's marketing, franchising, accounting, just and there are a lot of them. When I first got on the committee here, I live in Oklahoma City, in Edmond, a lot of really people with deep experience. I'm talking 20, 30 years that do this to help give back and help people learn from their mistakes, right? And so you can go in there, and then when you get in there, you can get teamed up with a mentor. So I know a couple of the ones I worked with was somebody who had a barbecue restaurant, and they were getting hit because with independence, a lot of times it's really hard from a supply chain standpoint to get the best possible pricing. And they were like, how can we compete? We're going out there trying to buy the meat every day. And so then I'm like, oh, okay, you can go to the Oklahoma State Association. They have, you can join some of these co-op groups. And so you're kind of helping them with that. Other ones has been a female that was starting her business. And she's like, okay, how can I do this? Or another time, it was somebody recently just reach out to me that has a lot of restaurants and go, how can I get started in franchising? Like, how do I get started in this? So that's why I think SCORE is a great way. And because all this is people volunteering their time, but like you mentioned, Cedric, they don't do the work for you. So if most brands, when you go to them, will ask you to put a business plan together. The reason we do that is it's not just for my benefit, it's for the bank's benefit. It's for when you go to get finance, and everybody should have that, 5-year goal, and you have to put it on paper. You need to put it on paper so you can go back, and then your business plan should change year by year. It doesn't matter if you have one restaurant, 5 restaurants, 5 different concepts. Have a business plan, have a goal, and try to follow that. And so when you go to a bank to get finance, they'll say to you, okay, why should I take a risk on you? And you're going to have the business plan. Hey, this is my background. This is where I came from. Oh, this is what I know about operations. This is what I know about development. If it's a personal care franchises, because there's 4,000 franchise systems out there. There is a franchise system for everybody. If you love pets, there's multiple franchises for that. If you like the wellness industry, multiple franchises for that. Just, really do your research so you make sure it's a franchise that fits with your background. Because again, at some point, you're going to go to a bank, perhaps, to get finance, and they're going to want to make sure you have the background. And so that's what a business plan does for you. You take it, and at some point, you're going to go to the bank, give them your business plan, and they're going to go through it with you and say, okay, why should I finance that for you? But those are some of the things that SCORE has, tools that you can go in, or they have videos. Let's say you have to do a marketing plan. How do I put a marketing plan together? How do I know social media? How do I do this? How do I do that? There's lots of different buckets of information that you can access, because as a SCORE volunteer, which I'm not doing right now because I have a full-time job, but we can't tell you how to run your business. Like you said, it's giving you the tools and kind of asking you the questions as you go through the process to help you kind of think this through. So that's why a business plan, is important.
You know what? That was a wealth of knowledge you just told us, and I do recall. To me, when you're doing a business plan, banks look at it like, okay, what kind of experience? You said something very important. What kind of experience you have? So I think that's a key. If you want to go into an industry, you might want to go work in that industry, or work in that, for example, restaurant, or work in a restaurant, because you might not like it, right? Or
That is
if you
correct.
you might not like it, right? But if you do, you can show hey, Mr. Banker, I've worked at this restaurant for so many years. It's experience I gained, and that's what feel them confident that you can run it because, like you said, it's their investment. They're investing in you, and they want to make sure they can get their money back, right?
Right.
So,
And you're
so that,
investing in, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And you're investing. And sometimes it's,
yeah,
I always say it's easier for a millionaire to find an operator than an operator to find a million. No matter what business you get into, got to have some money getting into this. And that may mean, sometimes you have a financial partner. Maybe you're the skin in the game, but you got to get a financial partner, or you have to lower your expectations a little bit, right? So, when you have 4,000 franchise systems out there, like let's say somebody wanted to do Qdoba, and I'm like, okay, you got to have 500,000 liquid, but I don't have that. I only have 250, or I only have 50,000. Okay. Well, maybe you do a service industry like dryer vent cleaning, or, putting, maybe it's a coffee shop where you don't have as much of that investment. So you kind of got to step your way, to me, if you've not been into franchising. Don't think you can go to Taco Bell right away. Like you got to step your way into it and then learn the business of franchising, because it's super important that you understand franchising, what is expected from the franchisor, and then what we expect from you, because it's not our job to run your business. Our job is to give you the tools you need to run your business. And then hopefully you're putting the right people on the bus in it, and hiring the right people. Because I always say, if you take care of the guests will take care of you. I don't care what business that's in, whether it's restaurant, service, wellness, whatever. Take care of your customer, because a repeat customer is always your most loyal customer. And those are the ones you can count on when the times get tough, right?
amen.